Okay, morning everyone. It is October 1st, 8:02 a.m. I will call to order the Economic Development and Tourism Board meeting for October. Victoria, do we need to do a roll call? We have attendance already handled?
We do. We have a quorum. Yeah.
Okay. So first we'll go to approval of minutes. So exhibit 1, and what we have in front of us is our minutes.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Approval of the minutes. Now go to citizen comment period. Victoria, do we have any citizens?
No citizens.
Okay, we'll close the citizen comment period. Go to the closed portion of the meeting, staff reports and presentations. First is to receive a report and hold a discussion on the city's strategic plan, how it guides economic development priorities. Victoria, I think this is you.
Here you go. Okay, we'll make an introduction here in a moment to Rosie, but I just wanted to start off by, I think we've looked at these before, but I just want to make sure that we kind of hit home on what the city's working on. The city has this overarching strategic plan for the whole city, and then economic development has their own plan as well. But within the city's plan, economic development falls under thriving and prosperous economy. And so within thriving and prosperous economy, we have sustainable and resilient infrastructure. Sorry about the misalignment there. Excellent and accountable city government, safe and welcoming community, and a vibrant and fun destination. So, hi, Henry. And so, we are under thriving and prosperous economy. So, and then the other ones are the other 4 pillars. So there's 5 total that that guide all of the city's goals moving forward. Within thriving and prosperous economy, this is where I was mentioning that economic development falls under this, and you can see how a lot of this is related to what we do. So some of the action items that we'll be working on this year will be an update on our incentive policy, identify future employment centers, track and report economic development trends. The top one got cut off, so I'm not sure. Recruitment efforts, maybe lead recruitment efforts to align with our economic development strategic plan. Host a semi-annual regional job fair. Develop a directory of job opportunities within Kyle employers. Implement programs for small business that relate back to the Kickstart program. Evaluate our TERS districts, projects, and growth status. Maximize city-owned property to attract investment. Finalize the downtown master plan. And our approach to redevelopment. We also, this is something more that planning and community development is working on, update of the city's development code, which Friesen Nichols came and spoke to this board a couple of months ago. We also want to track and measure progress on development agreements, and then track and measure progress on our Chapter 380 agreements. So all of those are under thriving and prosperous economies. So this is what we will use to guide our steps for the next year and beyond. I don't know if this is going to work, because when I imported it, I was going to kind of take you through the city's website to show you how it works. It's an open portal for the community to review, and also within all of these initiatives and action plans, every month or every other month, city staff will go in here and update for the community to see what progress we've made. So it'll say where we are on updating our incentive policy. Are we on track to do that? What is our next steps? There's a couple on here that we haven't started yet, such as developer directory of job opportunities within Kyle employers. So that's more of a full-fledged business retention efforts to go and visit our major employers and figure out what types of higher level jobs they're hiring for, so we can connect our residents to those jobs. So that's something we haven't started, but Lauren and I will start on that this fiscal year. Happy first day of the fiscal year. So what I can do, just for the sake of time and because I can't click on it here, I can send you a link as a follow-up. So if you want to play around with it and look at it.
Actually, on the City of Kyle website, if you just there's a link to strategic plan just right on the main page of the website. So it's super easy.
Okay. And here is how the board can support our strategic plan goals. The board can act as ambassadors for Kyle, help tell the story of our community by promoting Kyle at events such as regional job fairs, City Fest, and the RISE Leadership Program. So this is different events where usually we try to invite the board so that you could see how the event flows and be there to meet other businesses or residents that are there. I think maybe going forward, we can even have some sort of kind of polos or something with your, that show that you're from the board, so easily recognizable that you're our ambassadors. Engage beyond monthly meetings. I know we meet once a month at this time, and your voice matters outside of the boardroom. Active participation strengthens our presence and builds stronger connection with residents, businesses, and partners. Provide guidance on policies. We will seek your input and recommendation on updates to the city's incentive policies and other initiatives outlined in the strategic plan, which I know we've already done some of that. We've formed subcommittees for the leadership program. We've formed an incentive subcommittee, and we've received those recommendations and feedback that we will implement into the current RISE program and also into our incentive policy. But I'm sure with the incentive policy, we'll bring that back to you because we have some other ideas on how to enhance the policy. And then champion strategic priorities, encourage collaboration, share feedback, and support initiatives that drive quality jobs, small business growth, mobility, and placemaking efforts. So those are all ways that we look to have the board engage with us. So that is a brief overview. I know we probably should have started. I feel so weird that Rosie's here and I haven't introduced her, but with the flow of it should have been I think the next item has an introduction. Rosie is the new Executive Director of Strategic Development. So Economic Development reports to her now. And do you want to maybe just do a brief introduction of who you are? Yeah, sorry, this was weird.
Nice meeting you.
It's okay. It's just super fun and
Sitting
awkward.
here quietly, I know.
Quietly eating my P-Terries and drinking my coffee, and it's fine.
My name is Julian. I've been with the board a little over a year. Local small business owner, and just happy to be here.
I assume Laola.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise you're doing a good job of advertising.
Yeah. We talked about polos just now, so yeah, Laola. Yeah, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. My name is Spencer. I'm with Premier Group Consulting, another small business here in Kyle, and been with the board about a year as well.
Nice to meet you. I'm Yao Fan. I'm the Dean of the Public and Social Services Division here at ACC. And the Public Safety Training Center is one of the components that's underneath my.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for
We
being
need to get
here.
Rosie a tour of the facility.
I have lots of questions about
Oh, yeah.
ACC and all the fun things that are happening, so we'll connect. It'll be fun.
Hi, Henry Sear. Started my second year on the board this meeting, and I'm with Curative Health.
Morning, I'm Luke Miller. I serve as the Chief Operating Officer for Ascension CPAs at Kyle.
Okay.
Been on the board for probably 3 years.
I'm Cam Lander with the Hayes Caldwell EDP. I don't know how long. As long as I've been in this position.
Right.
Because of ex officio, I think so.
Yes.
Coming up on 2 years.
Very nice. Very nice.
Spencer Copeland, work for a consultancy called DRS, helping with disaster recovery type work. I serve here on the city's planning and zoning commission, city's library board. I've been on this board for 4 years. Something around there.
Thank you
Yeah.
for your service 3 times over. Appreciate it. As Victoria mentioned, I'm Rosie Truelove. I'm the Executive Director of Strategic Development now, as of about a month ago, actually exactly a month ago. I've been with the City of Kyle since the beginning of 2024. Prior to that, when I came here in 2024, I was the Director of Administrative Services. So I was working on kind of all things internally facing. Brian decided about a month ago, the city manager decided to make some organizational changes and asked me to step into this role. I'm coming off of 26 years at the city of Austin, where I did a whole number of really fun things. The last 8 years I was there, I was the director of housing for the city of Austin. So we were in charge of all of their income restricted affordable housing and all their HUD entitlement grants. And I think for about 2 years in the middle of that, I was also the director of the planning department. So lots of work on the planning aspect of city of Austin life. So we're excited. I'm excited to be here. I think Brian is looking to help with this reorganization, is really looking to help kind of make sure that all the development that is happening, whether it's economic development, community development, things that are happening through development services and planning and PUDs and all of the development agreements, that it's all happening in a little bit more of a coordinated fashion and trying to help, bring forward some of the goals. And Victoria talked about some of them today, really specific into economic development, looking to bring in employers and make sure that we're doing what we can in that front. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to answer any questions. I think, we're at a good point with you guys and we're going to talk a little bit more about how we can more effectively use this particular board. So we'll be curious about your thoughts there. But I think it's a fun time to be working in economic development and development in Kyle. So thanks for being here and for serving on this board.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to.
Before we move on. to
Go
the
ahead,
next one, I
please.
wanted to talk about the subcommittee approach. I know we've used that before to some success, and a lot of these action items, I think, leverage that in a way that would be helpful for you, but I'd love to make sure that would actually be helpful and not just in your way.
Yeah.
So I don't know this answer today, but sort of want to explore how we can better help you with each of those action items or state of metrics.
Okay. Maybe that discussion could happen when we talk about the meeting cadence, how often we want to meet, do we want to
Yeah.
hold special meetings, and then we could talk about maybe subcommittees.
So the strategic plan that Victoria shared a few minutes ago is we're in our second year of that right now. And so the first year was, this has all been done, at the direction of council and with the support of council, but at the behest of city leadership. And we took the time going into this second year to really make sure that we were proposing items for the strategic plan that were going to be really solidly actionable and that we're really going to get to drive the goals that we have for the organization. And so that's why you see some really meaty items in there that are really going to be, I think, impactful for economic development here within the city of Kyle. So I think I like the idea of working with you guys on them and better understanding how we're going to propose. We kind of tackle those items. Totally open to the idea of subcommittees or how that's going to work. We also have some vacancies on your board that we're going to be working to fill. And so I think it's a good time to be having that conversation. Okay. I think we can move on to the next
Okay.
item.
So our next item on here would be receive a report and hold a discussion on staff and board member updates on recent and upcoming city projects, programs, or events impacting economic development. First on here, Victoria, I guess, is City of Kyle reorganization.
Yes, and that's what we just went through. So we probably should have started with this conversation instead of having Rosie sit there quietly. But
Awkwardly.
yes, for a while.
Totally fine.
I thought this one would have come first. I kept clicking slides thinking eventually we'll get to introduce her. But anyhow, this
I
is
thought that was great. It was like nice and suspenseful.
You're like, who is the random person
You're
that
like
just
waving
showed
out
up?
there, and I'm like, it's, who is that?
Who's the rando? It's
That's
totally
just
fine.
It's good.
you're like
Totally fine.
any
Not the first time, not the last time.
yeah. Okay, so this is exactly what Rosie just went through, the organizational changes. Strategic development includes housing, development services, all of planning, building code, and economic development and strategic planning. Here's a fun one. So if any of you have met Amber Schmeit, she was promoted to the deputy city manager. So she is second in command, just below Brian Langley. And so strategic planning reports up to Amber, and she has all of the strategic development, infrastructure, water, wastewater, capital improvements, transportation, and public works. So that's all her portfolio of departments. And then the other ones are split between our city assistant city manager and city manager. Okay, and then we have staff reports, August sales tax reports. I think Lauren may have copied those for us because they slightly hard to read on the, yes, she did, great. And even then, they're slightly hard to read on here. So just to know that for the latest reports that we have are from August, sales tax reports. That looks like $1.8 million collected for the month of August. As far as projections go, that was that's actually a decrease of 4% off of the projected amount that we thought we would receive. And it looks like compared to the very last line on there, it looks like we might end up being negative 4.6, right around the 4% range off of our projected sales tax reports. If you look to the next column on the right, you will see that comparison year over year, though. This is not on projections, finances projections, but this is just year over year from August of 2025 to August 2024, we actually collected 7.37% more than we did the prior year. And year to date, we've collected about 6% more. So we're still doing better than we did last year, but it's not hitting the projections of our finance department. So we'll see how we end up in September. I'll give a full report at our next meeting when the September numbers come in. So I think this budget year, we were a little bit more conservative with our projections for sales taxes. We've kind of seen that everything is trending in that direction. So we were just a little bit more conservative on that end.
Do we know what the number of projections for fiscal 26 is?
No, they're in our budget, but I think or did you? You may have, and I told you I was going to find out. But for next meeting, we can cover that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Sales tax report. Certificate of occupancies. So we have on at 175 Old Stagecoach, there's a small retail strip center there. There'll be a liquor store and a smoke shop. And then in downtown Kyle, this is from a couple of months ago. This goes a couple months back, but Bloodworth Barbecue did receive their temporary certificate of occupancy for moving into a new building. So they were located just next door on the corner located on property that the city has purchased. And so the city has, talked in the future about plans for that area, but Bloodworth found their permanent home at 208 West Center. So if any of you have been around Kyle long enough to remember, they were where the former Milt's Barbecue used to be. So, go by and visit them there. There's also an Extended Stay America that received a temporary certificate of occupancy. This is a hotel that's over by Seton.
When is it open?
I don't know that yet, but would that be helpful do you have a lot of traveling nurses staff that could be helpful for them?
I'd love to connect with someone there too, if you have a contact.
Okay. I haven't yet, but I have no doubt Lauren will find out. She's so good at finding out. So let me just make a quick note. And then lastly, we have Sprouts that received their certificate of occupancy, and their grand opening is October 10th. So I may have sent them an invite. It's at 6:45 in the morning. So they plan to have a very quick and brief ribbon cutting and open the doors right at 7 o'clock. I've seen photos that they've shared from other grand openings at other Sprouts locations around Texas, and they have up to 500 to 1,000 people waiting in line to get in. So we anticipate a lot of excitement for this grand opening. And if you can join us there that early, if you want to walk across the street at 6:45, we will be there. And then
I won't
Get in line first.
you.
I will be in Iowa, but you guys can go.
Okay. Still taking notes. Okay. Let's see. Next on our list. Oh, our leadership event. So Lauren and I are well on the way with working on this event. It's been a long time coming. We're really excited about it. Jasmine Brand is one of our guest speakers, and Lauren and I met her at a conference, a Texas Economic Development Conference a few years ago, and she's very inspiring. She connects with, primarily she works with female business owners, but I think her message is transferable to, if you're a woman-owned business or male-owned business. But she has a great message about connecting with each other, supporting each other. How can we collaborate to build a better community of business owners? And then Jasmine recommended Baylor Barbie. She and he both of them usually do speaking engagements together. She said he's very dynamic. He focuses more on leadership, on self-leadership. And so that's where I like the idea of having something that will appeal to the local business community and business leaders, but also then we bring Baylor in to talk in general about leadership and being a good leader in any role that you hold within the community. And other events like this, as Dr. Fawn saw, it translates to different, other events that we've been to. There's been utility partners there. There's been city employees there, business owners, and then just community leaders. So but this one will start at 8:30 in the morning on October the 15th. It'll be at the Plum Creek Golf Course, the Mockingbird Room. There's a small charge of $25 for the event, but we have offered to comp any board members that would like to come and join us. And so it'll start with the breakfast, and then Jasmine will talk for about an hour. We'll have a networking break, and then we'll go into Baylor talking. And then also we will have resource partners there for small business that may need to talk with SBDC, with SCORE, Workforce Solutions, Lift Fund. Any of those resource partners will be there commingling with everybody. So I hope you can make it. I feel like it'll be well worth your time. And you'll see just a powerful message from both of these speakers. And our goal is in the future, if it's successful and we get good feedback from the community, to continue to build on this event. I'm sure there'll be changes and enhancements that we need to make year over year, but hopefully it turns into something great and that the community is beneficial to the community. So I've heard from a few of you that you're able to participate, so we look forward to seeing y'all there. Oh, good. We have maybe about 5 or 6 people registered, so it's not like overly wildly popular. But, we have ads in the community impact. Our communications team within the city has pushed it out. HCEDP has, the chamber has put it out there. So we're doing the best we can. If y'all, have the ability to share it as well with your connections, that would be great too. So it's 2 weeks from today. Yeah. So we hope that the last few, if we had 25 people there, Lauren and I feel like we'd be successful for our first year event. We had another somewhat similar event last year, but it didn't have guest speakers. It was just resource partners that were in the room. And we had about 20 to 25 people there. So, for this type of event, we would hope to have more, but we'll see how it goes.
Sure. We recently did an internal hospital event there, and the acoustics were very challenging. It's just like the speaker and the microphone.
Oh, really? It wasn't
So
the...
y'all might just want to make sure you get hands on that
Yeah.
prior.
Yeah, and I know that they have their own, audio equipment. I know the city has their own too, and we use it for groundbreaking events. So maybe I'll have Lauren.
It might be better.
Yeah, maybe Lauren and I could go check
Palm
it
Creek's
out.
was
Good to know.
not the
Yeah.
greatest.
Okay. Thank you for
And
that
maybe
feedback.
ask Annette, because didn't we have our boards and commissions?
Oh, we did.
there?
Yep. See how, yeah. We got it.
Maybe we had a bad day. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe y'all were too rowdy.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Okay. So now we go into board member updates. Anybody have any updates?
On my side right now.
No.
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 Good.
Good.
No, nothing.
All right. So it's not our event, but next Wednesday is the Austin San Antonio Pro Summit. They did it in San Antonio and San Marcos annual event. Usually it goes between San Marcos and New Braunfels. This year it's in San Marcos. As of Friday, 550 people registered for it, which is huge.
Wow.
So anyway, that's next week. Our annual board meeting for our organization is October 23rd. And so Amy, of course, you're welcome to that public meeting, but also working with Kyle, and Kyle is important to what we do. Really invite you to come also at Embassy Suites. Kind of so that's on the 23rd. Those are two things I guess I'll bring up for
October 20. We are, yeah, and we are
Three-
registered
three-
for
three to
the,
five.
oh yeah, I got that on my calendar.
But the Pro Summit is one.
Yes. We're registered for that. If any of board members would like to attend, I think we have a table for 10 and we have available seats. So if anybody is interested in attending as our guest, you can join us. Just let me know. Let me just make sure. It's on the 8th, right?
Yes.
A week from today.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Let me stop sharing for a moment. Next presentation. Okay, next item.
All right, so next, I guess, we consider review of possible action. So consider approval of recommendations and changes to meeting schedule.
Yes. So currently the board meets the first Wednesday of every month at 8 a.m. A while back, we used to meet in the evenings, and then this is way back when, and then we moved it to a lunchtime, and then maybe a year ago or so, we've probably been meeting at this time for about a year. The board decided that maybe an early morning, first thing in the morning, get here and then get out and get on with your day was probably a good time. Now, we'd like to hear from you if the meeting schedule is working for you. I know we have a couple of vacancies, so last week we didn't have, last month we didn't have enough voting board members to make a quorum. So we had to cancel the meeting. So as soon as we get a full board, then it'll be a lot easier. We may not have to cancel any meetings, but is the schedule working for you? Do you feel that there is enough content in the meeting to meet monthly? The frequency of meetings, do we want to consider shifting to every other month or quarterly and have a longer meeting? And then this is kind of what you were talking about, flexibility for special topics. Would the board also consider holding special meetings as needed, particularly when specific recommendations to city council are required, which could also include some. So do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, really, we want to make this we want this to be beneficial for you guys and for the city of Kyle. And so we're just looking for some feedback on how things are going and where, if you have any suggestions or thoughts, or if there's anything that we can do differently with respect to how we schedule the meetings. Don't everyone talk at once.
Have any of the departing board members given any feedback? I mean, we've had, say, relatively high turnover, some due to structural changes with the board, but
Yeah,
have any stated any other barriers or challenges? I'm just curious.
I think, a couple of them just kind of the timing didn't work for them. And then some,
Timing as in time of meeting or timing as in their life events?
oh, time of meeting.
Okay.
Yep. And then we had one that just had a job change and moved out of Kyle. Our previous board chair, been out of town quite a bit in the summer months, and so it was harder for him to get here to the meetings, and so maybe work commitments. But I'd be happy to follow up with him too and see what his thoughts were.
We're the morning meeting advocates that got us here at 8 a.m. Are they still on the board? Because I don't want to be rude.
I would say I was probably one of them.
You're probably one of
But
them.
I'm open to change. I mean, I would like it to be whatever works for everybody, and maybe I would probably advocate considering adjusting the frequency. And I think I'm okay with. I think sometimes every month is a little tough from board member perspective, and then sometimes I think it feels maybe a little tough from a content perspective. That sometimes I think if we were to adjust the frequency, then you would have a more maybe a fuller meeting, but a little bit more impactful. That maybe would benefit both the city of Kyle and us. But I'm not held to the 8 a.m. time.
Well, yeah.
So you're not going to offend me.
No, there's plenty of reason to avoid traffic. But monthly to me does feel a little.
Okay.
See, I would be okay with every other month. If we could maybe hold aside subcommittee. It's for the off months.
Yeah.
Needed to.
My concern with shifting from month is I think if the strategic plan is where we're going to be heading, having frequent touch points, whether as a full committee, as subcommittees, that would be a balancing act there.
That's my question is for staff, is it monthly? Us, it's one thing, but putting it together,
Yeah.
doing everything else you're supposed to be doing and all that, that seems like a lot for staff. So I'm good with less frequency, with ad hoc if needed, because if we're doing what we should be doing with the strategic plan, monthly might be needed, but maybe
Well,
not.
Monthly,
It just depends.
the strategic plan's not going to get updated on a monthly basis. It's more like a quarterly basis for
But
the-
stuff to do. And
Yeah.
if we're hitting it, are we busier because of that? But it's still, you're busy with that rather than planning board meetings. I'd rather you be doing that than planning board meetings. So I'm good with lessening the frequency to every other month or quarter.
Anyone else?
I like the current setup, but listening to everybody else, I don't know, maybe bi-monthly or something. But honestly, to his point, it's whatever works for y'all. But for me, this is perfect. 8 a.m., be done, 1 hour, but I'm okay adjusting to whatever.
I do recall that Dr. Wright had mentioned it was easier for him to come straight here
Mhm.
and then get on with his day rather than breaking away. Once they have him at a school or wherever he's at, it's hard for him to break away sometimes. So lunch was a little bit harder for him where he preferred to drive straight here. That was just feedback I remember from him when we changed the hours. So
I had the same feedback for my personal work. It's easier either before I start going or in the evening
Mhm.
versus the day.
What? Do you have to drive into Austin or, yeah? Would you prefer a day, you'd prefer to come back from Austin?
I would prefer to come back.
At
But give
lunchtime?
me No.
No, in the-
Oh, an evening.
Yeah, give
meeting.
me,
And I'd be happy too, Bernie.
yeah, lunch.
Except
doesn't
for
work.
some don't live in Kyle, so it may be. tougher. Yeah, lunch, it was kind of tough to break away,
Mhm.
especially for you.
Yeah,
How would an evening work for you?
I can adjust to whatever, yeah.
My concern about just, I think it monthly does feel a bit like it's too frequent, from the staff perspective. We want them, again, to be meaningful, so we want to be able to have time to curate, quality stuff and not just be updating you on the same things, that we're talking about. But to that end, if we are starting to bring more meaningful things and more substantive discussions, is 9 o'clock kind of the hard stop of a morning meeting? Because that's where I think if we're gonna shift to bi-monthly, that's every other month, right? We might look at changing that to be an evening, or, and I say this really, really quietly because I don't want to scare people, maybe saying 7:30 instead of 8. And it was an act of Congress to get me here this early because I'm coming in from Austin, but I don't want us to have, when we start having things that we're bringing to you that we need feedback on, that are substantive, if we don't get to them, then that becomes as big of an issue as anything, right? Because if we need to get feedback from the board for, one of the things that I know is at the top of our list to be working on is our incentive policy. When we start bringing that forward and we want to have discussion for it, it's not the kind of thing that we can say, oh, we'll take care of it at the next meeting, because that then either you lose your opportunity to weigh in on that, or we have significant delays, and that's not going to be a workable thing. So if we want to keep it in the morning, I might suggest a 7:30 start if that's not going to make anyone throw things at me, and I don't see anyone throwing anything at
I'm
me.
about to throw something.
You're going to throw something at me?
I like the 7:30. I'll take that.
I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind a 7:30.
But I also hear your feedback here, and that the evening might work better, and that would not limit us to the same 9 a.m.
Yeah,
cutoff
the
time.
9 a.m. is hard, like watching the clock. 10 a.m.
Yeah.
To be interested.
So what if we try like a 5:30 or 6?
That would be tough for me.
Okay.
I would struggle with that.
Okay, so who's okay with 7:30 and who prefers like a 5:30? Who can't do 5:30? You can raise your hand.
I would be very hard pressed.
That's fair.
My attendance would drop significantly. I would try, but I
Yeah,
would just,
I mean, that's
feel your
probably
pain.
be,
I feel
That's why we're
A lot
having a
less.
conversation about it, because I know that, Victoria and I are gonna be here because it's our job to be here. But if I had a personal non-City of Kyle work thing that I had to do at 5:30, it's really hard for me to get there consistently and on time. So I totally appreciate that.
you definitely do every- Now it's like, can we align on the meeting schedule, and then we'll talk about.
Yeah, it
Monthly
seems like every other month.
from a content perspective, what would y'all prefer? Every other?
I
month
think
or
every other
quarterly?
month would feel better from a content perspective.
And we can revisit later if it ends up maybe needing to be quarterly, then we could do that. But for now, maybe just with us getting the strategic plan going, and I think maybe quarterly. I'm sorry, every other month. So we'll meet again in December.
I just push it to January at that.
I know. Yeah.
You're a bad influence.
If it's less frequent, I would be okay with it being a little longer. I mean, if we have content and it's less frequent, then
In the evening or in the morning?
90 minutes.
I would prefer in the morning still.
Okay.
But I'm flexible in the morning time, like if,
Yeah.
I mean.
8 a.m., 7:30.
I'm looking around the table for
it sounds like 8 would be hard pressed to get the content through before the 9 a.m. cutoffs.
That's
It's less
if,
frequent.
but if we have a less
Yeah.
frequent, I think 9 a.m. might be a little squeezy.
To 7:30.
7:30 to 9, 7:30, 9:30. I prefer mornings.
As long as there's coffee.
Yeah.
And breakfast.
Sausage McMuffins, yeah.
Wednesday, December 3rd.
Not pushing to January because we've got things, I'm excited about what we can put together before a December 3rd meeting. So, 7:30 or 8? What do you guys like?
My vote would be 7:30.
7:30? Mike?
Doesn't matter.
Tell you when to be here.
I like 8 and extend it a little longer.
Okay. 8?
I can, yeah, 8, we can, I've got, right now, I could just push the schedule, we're far enough in advance to where I'm not rescheduling.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't,
So 8 to 9:30.
8, okay. I know you like 7:30, but you can come here at 7:30 and just hang out.
Yeah, I prefer
There's coffee.
7:30. 9 is kind of a hard stop
I
for.
didn't even eat breakfast.
Do you have a class at you?
Yeah, I can make it work for this year though.
Okay. At least for December.
Yeah. If it needs to be 9:30 and I get outvoted, I can still show up. But I would prefer 7:30.
I'm with Luke, 8 to 9:30 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's shoot for 8, and we will shoot for an effective use of time. But if we have to go until 9:15-ish, then we'll recognize that we have a little bit of grace there.
Okay. And so then that date would be the
December 3rd.
3rd. Yes. Okay. I'll send out the calendar invite when we.
So I think we need you to officially vote on that so that we can have that go into, to be commemorated for all time.
Motion to change the meeting times to bi-monthly, starting at 8 a.m., beginning December 3rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. And the last item. One more item.
Okay, our next is consider nominations for election of a chair, vice chair, and secretary.
Okay, so every time that a few of you were reappointed to the board, and so every time we have reappointments, and so once a year we look to nominate and elect a new chair, vice chair, and secretary. Self-nominate. The board can nominate other members. We do have 2 seats open. What are your thoughts on
What do you
running
mean?
with what we have now?
I think we
with-
have to go with what we have now.
Yeah, okay. So Luke is currently vice chair, and this is voting members only, so then it would be between the Spencers, Julian. Any nominations?
Any
Self-nominations?
self-nominations?
You're going full. Luke, you've been vice chair. I told Victoria I'm comfortable with my current level of commitment as vice chair. I would probably prefer not to step into chair. I appreciate the question.
Then I nominate you for vice chair. Why not win? If you're happy with that.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
What does the secretary do?
Take the minute. That's currently Spencer's role here,
I nominate Victoria.
which I'm doing anyway.
I nominate artificial intelligence.
Yeah, AI is great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
Every other month, I would.
Nominate you then. Spencer, would you be open to being the chair? Sure. You guys are calling me to.
Absolutely. I think it'd be great.
Fine. Nominate you for chair.
I was hoping you were gonna self-nominate.
I'm happy to follow the team.
So we'll have to make, can you read all those motions so that the board can vote on them?
Move that we nominate Spencer as chair.
Can you say his last name, please? If you don't mind.
Oh,
The record.
Luke Miller as vice chair and myself as the secretary of the Crimson Board. Effective.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
So before we close it out, if there's any, as we move into less frequent meetings, if there's any topics that you guys want us to bring or dive more into for the next meeting, that would be appreciated either now or in the future. I'll get one of my cards for all of you so you know how to get a hold of me. I don't know yet what we're going to bring for the December meeting, but probably diving a little bit more into some of the elements of the strategic plan and probably talking about the incentive policy are the two that are coming up to the top of my mental list. If there's anything else that you guys want, or if there's any items that you want us to provide regular updates on, or any kind of information that you feel like you would benefit from, then please let us know.
To Spencer's strategy for subcommittees. Be a good topic, because if we're gonna move to every other month, I still think it's a. So this once a quarter can do a off-month subcommittee meeting. So your thoughts, Victoria, on what are the subcommittees you need? Obviously, I was on the one for the ship event. I was happy to help, and so your thoughts on what might be good, not committing, but what could you envision needing us to be on as a secondary?
Okay.
Sort of.
I think with the different topics and goals from our strategic plan, whatever we want to tackle first, maybe.
Put some,
good one.
put some
Yeah.
thoughts on it, and
We'll
in
talk
December,
about
I'll look forward to hearing where you need help,
Okay.
and then using those off months wisely. I hope.
Okay.
I think some of those action items have a logical grouping of some of these work together well, some of these work together differently, and maybe dividing along those lines. That way a subcommittee could tackle 3 or 4 action items versus one at a time. Might be some kind of cross-pollination between those different action items.
Okay.
I know last month that we had to skip, we were going to talk about small business incentives and other ideas. We'd like to bring that back up for discussion
Yeah,
at some
and you had some good feedback on that. So yes, the incentive policy will cover the overarching policy and then some enhancements to small business. Got some other ideas too that we're working on. So that'll probably be the very first topic that we'll bring forward. And
would
I
love to
think
see in
we
the summary of board activities and expectations that you kind of covered, like how do we help?
Mhm.
I think just reviewing that regularly, I would love to see that every meeting because it's a nice refresher to me. I think just seeing it today was helpful. I think particularly as we have new board members and just kind of ingraining some of that with them,
So Victoria, is the plan for December to have the full board placed, appointed?
We hope so. We're looking for board members. Lauren and I are reaching out to. So the 2 seats are open. One of them would be a resident or non-resident of Kyle that is a high-level executive or owner of a primary employer in Kyle. So we had Eddie filling that role before. So that one, Lauren and I have been sending emails out to all of our major employers within the city limits to see if any of them are interested. And then the next one is the owner or high-level representative and has to be a resident of a business in Kyle. So that one may be a little bit easier to fill. We've also been putting out some feelers for that one too. So hopefully between now and then, our goal is to
Be great.
interview and have those 2 board members seated so that then we have a full board and almost like we kick off our meeting on December the 3rd with a full board.
Any other? Any second? I'll second. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right.